Wow, good day everyone. Higher ground students, great higher ground students. How are you? Today is another Friday, and I'm welcoming you to another online class from Higher Ground Academy. My name is Mr. Weso Emmanuel. How have you been doing? It's been almost 2 months and we've been at home. We just pray that this COVID-19 case will soon be a thing of the past. But we believe you are doing greatly well there at home. And we believe that you are helping your parents. Alright, this is ICT class for junior secondary school. Last week we treated generations of computers and we look at 5 generations. We look at the vacuum tube generation. We look at the transistor generation. We look at the microprocessor. We look at the artificial intelligence generation, and I believe that you have actually mastered that, and I gave an assignment, and I believe that you are studying what you have actually been taught last week. And today is another moment that we are going to continue from where we stopped. Now today we are looking at classifications of computers. Classification. Now we have looked at the various generations: first generation, second, third, fourth, fifth generation, and then we want to see those generations of computers. How do we classify them? Now today's topic, we are going to look at certain objectives we are going to achieve. The first objective is to classify computers by type. At the end of the day, you should be able to classify computers by type, by size, and by functionality. So these are 3 key objectives that we want to achieve in this topic today. And so let's kickstart. Now let's look at the first one. We are looking at microcomputers. So we shall be looking at what microcomputers is. So the first, second, mini computers, mainframe computers, supercomputers. We have digital, we have analog, we have hybrid. Now for the micro, mini, mainframe, and supercomputers, they are classified according to size. So these 4 falls under classification of computers by size, and digital, analog, hybrid fall under classification of computers by type. So let's move on to the next classification. We have servers, workstations, we have information appliances, and embedded computers, and these are classified according to their functionality. So those are the 3 categories. So let's look at them one by one. And so the first one we are going to look at is the microcomputers. Now what are microcomputers? They are small, low cost, and single user digital computers. Their features include CPU, which is the central processing unit, input and output unit, storage, media, and softwares. Examples. Let's go back. Okay, examples of such are desktop computers, laptop, tablet, smartphones, palm top, iPad, and so on. These are computers you are familiar with, you are used to. These are what we have at home, like the phone, Android phones you have. They are also in the categories of microcomputers. Don't forget microprocessors. And microprocessors fall under the fourth generation computers. So these are microcomputers. And you can see we have smartphone, we have desktop computers, we also have other examples. So let's move on to the next one, which is mini computers. And what are mini computers? Mini computers have high processing ability with high storage function, and they are multi-user computers. Now let me go back to this, the microcomputers. Okay, fine. Now the microcomputers are single user computers. Single user in the sense that it's only one person that can make use of them at the same time. So it is just a single user computer. Once someone is making use of that computer, no one else. You can imagine when you are actually using your phone, no one else can have access to the phone until you are done and you hand it over. So that is a single user computer then. But when you talk about a mini computer, it is a multi-user computer. More than one person can make use of that computer at the same time, and examples include IBM 800 or IBM 800 and PDP-2. Okay, now let's move on to the next one, mainframe computers. What are these mainframe computers? These are computers that can be as big as a building. As big, you can imagine your own building and a computer being built to be as big as that. So that's an example. That is what mainframe computers. They are multi-user, of course, multi-programming, and they have high performing ability. So now they are usually used in banks and companies. You are not familiar with this, but banks, they make use of this kind of computers in order, because it's have high processing function. It performs high processing function, and very important in those organizations. Examples include the CDC 6000 and the IBM ES000 series of computers. Now let's look at the supercomputers. What are the supercomputers? Supercomputers are the fastest computers, and of course they are the most expensive computers you can ever think of, and they are employed in military operations, space operations, weather forecasting, and complex calculations. And you can see an example. You can see how huge and tall that computer is. This is an example of supercomputers. Now we have the IBM Roadrunner Param. Param was built in India, and we also have IBM Blue Gene. So we look at classification by type. Another classification by type, we have the digital, the analog, and we have the hybrid. So let's look at the digital computer. The digital computers process data in discrete numeric form, represented using the binary code. So digital computers are the computer you see. Their values are represented in numbers. You will see the exact numbers written on the screen. Examples are calculators. And you know, when you use your calculator, you are going to see exactly what you have calculated. So you are going to see it printed in that particular figure. That is a digital calculator. We have the counting machines, and when the machine they use in counting, especially in banks, you will see that it's going to write exactly the amount or the total counted. We have the ATM. ATM is automated teller machine, and you will see it's going to display the figure exactly on the screen. So, and we have examples, more examples of this. You can see add yours. So we also have the analog. The analog computers measure data in continuous physical magnitude. For example, you see 2, 2.5, 2, 3/4, 5, and so those are measures in continuous physical magnitude. It's continuous. It doesn't have it's not terminating. They are usually employed in engineering, scientific, and process control. And examples of such computers include the speedometer. Now you see the cars having on their dashboard a kind of how do I call it? A kind of measuring mechanism to determine the speed they have traveled or they are traveling. So you will see the deflector deflecting as the speed increases. Now look at your bedroom weighing scale. When you stand on it, you begin to see deflection. It's deflecting, showing you your weight on the weighing scale. Then we also have the petrol pump. The petrol pump. Then let's talk about a hybrid. Hybrid combine the features of both digital and analog computers. Now they are usually used in control of manufacturing and processing, and this actually can also be used for both counting and for measurement. So, and basically this, okay, then let's move on. Let's look at the other classification of computers, that is by functionality. Another is we have the servers, the workstations, we have information appliances, we have embedded computers. Now the server, the information technology. In information technology, a server is a computer program that provides services to other computer programs. You can imagine an internet, a web site. A website needs a server in order to serve people actually visiting the page or the site. Every information concerning that site will be on a particular system, and so a particular system will send a signal to every other system across the world. So the computer system, where the network is the server, where every information is the server that serves every other. So that's just for you to have understanding of what the server is. And so the computer that houses the server program is also commonly referred to as a server. So though it may not be used for other purposes as well. Okay, now the following among the many types of servers that offer services to clients or to users. And what are they? We have the database server, the file server, mail server, print server, web server, gaming server, and application server. So those are some of the examples. Now, when a user of a computer in a cyber cafe requests for a web page, the request is sent to the server, which returns the web page to the client computer for the user, like I explained earlier on. So if the server does not have the requested information or web page, it will return an information back to the user. It makes a request for the web page from other servers until it gets the web page and forwards same to the client. So then the next one is a workstation. What is a workstation? A workstation is a type of computer which is used for engineering applications, desktop publishing, software development, and other types of applications which may require a moderate amount of computing power and also with high quality graphics capability. The most common operating system used in workstations are the Unix and the Windows NT. The Unix and the Windows NT. Now, most workstations also have a mass storage device like the disk drive. And so a special type of workstation called the diskless workstation can come without a disk drive. That means everything is just embedded in the computer. Now, like personal computers, most workstations are single user computers, and they are usually linked to the local area network, which is the LAN, and used by multi-users. So a single user kind of computer connected to a multi-user kind of computer. In terms of computing power, workstations lie between PCs and mini computers. Alright, now let's look at the information appliance. An information appliance is an appliance used to perform specific electronic functions as playing music, photography, or editing text. So that is what information appliance is. Typical examples include a Palm Pilot, multifunction cell phones, and personal digital assistants. The examples of information appliance. And so don't forget your iPod as well. So let's now look at the embedded systems. These are computers or machines or chips used that are incorporated or added onto other devices to perform specific tasks. So they are embedded in other systems to perform a specific task. Some embedded systems also have real-time performance constraints, which must be met. Now let's look at an example in an automobile. Now there are certain things that are embedded in the system in order to control the fuel gauge, the temperature, the speed of the car, playing of music in the car, and lots more. So those things that are actually embedded in that computer or in that car to control certain functionalities are embedded systems. Some other examples of embedded systems or computers include the digital watches, MP3 players, traffic lights, factory controllers, television sets, routers, cookers, medical appliances, and military appliances. So these are examples of embedded computers. Another thing is in aircraft. There are so many components that are embedded in the aircraft that actually make it so efficient. So I believe we have been able to understand the classification of computers, and I believe that we are going to make further studies and have a better understanding of this particular topic. So I have an assignment for you, and these are the assignments. Number 1, list the various classifications of computers. 2, there's an error. State the differences between mainframe and supercomputers. And what is a smartphone? Finally, mention the importance and uses of smartphones in ICT. So these are 4 assignments for us to submit as usual on Edmodo. Alright, so thank you very much for listening and being part of this class. I will come back to you by special grace next week Friday. Before then, make sure you do your assignment and submit on Edmodo as usual. You'll have the code to submit it in PDF form or Word format, not writing, snapping and sending. No, type it using your phone word processor and send it to my Edmodo page. I will get it downloaded and access you. Alright, be good children, boys and girls at home. Help your parents, maintain social distancing, and always use your face mask. From Higherground Academy, I say bye till next week. Thank you.